Hey Taurus, I just pulled some cards for you, and honestly, what came through is pretty incredible. So I shuffled the deck thinking about when you release, goodness flows in, and the energy that showed up is really fascinating. Let me share what I'm seeing here. The first card that came out is the Page of Swords, and this is so interesting because it's all about new mental clarity coming your way. You know that feeling when you've been holding on to something so tightly, maybe old thoughts or worries or just mental clutter, and suddenly you get this fresh perspective? That's exactly what this card is talking about. The Page of Swords is like this curious messenger energy, and what I'm picking up is that when you actually let go of trying to control every single thought and outcome, this whole new way of seeing things rushes in. It's like you've been looking through a foggy window and suddenly someone wipes it clean. The universe is basically saying that your mind is about to get this upgrade, but it can only happen when you stop gripping so hard onto old mental patterns. I'm seeing that you might have been overthinking situations, replaying conversations, analyzing everything to death, and this card is gently telling you that release is the key. When you allow your thoughts to flow naturally instead of forcing them into boxes, clarity arrives on its own. This isn't about abandoning logic or intelligence. It's about trusting that fresh insights will come when you create mental space for them. The second card is the Fool. And wow, this is such a beautiful confirmation of new beginnings. The Fool is literally standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to step into something completely new, and the message here is so clear. When you release your need for absolute certainty, when you stop demanding that the universe show you the entire roadmap before you take one step, that's when the magic happens. I'm feeling this energy of childlike wonder and trust, and it's telling me that something new is trying to enter your life, Taurus, but you've got to make room for it. The Fool isn't reckless, even though that's what people think. The Fool is actually deeply connected to universal flow and trust. What I'm seeing is that you've been so focused on safety and security, which makes total sense for your sign, but there's this invitation now to trust the journey even when you can't see every step. Goodness is literally waiting to flow in, but it needs you to open your hands and release what you've been clutching. This could be releasing old identities, old ways of doing things, expectations about how things should unfold. The Fool is saying that the universe has something beautiful planned, and your job is just to take that first step with an open heart. Now the Five of Pentacles showed up, and I want to talk about this because it might seem contradictory at first, but it's actually so profound. This card traditionally shows hardship or feeling left out in the cold, but in this reading, it's showing me what you're releasing. You've been carrying this energy of lack, maybe this fear that there's never enough or that you'll be left without support. The Five of Pentacles is pointing to old scarcity wounds that have been blocking your flow. When I look at this card in the context of your reading, it's like the universe is highlighting exactly what needs to go. You might have experienced times where you felt unsupported or where resources seemed scarce, and those experiences created this protective shell around you. But here's what's beautiful, Taurus. The card is showing up now because it's time to release that entire frequency. The universe is saying that when you let go of the fear of not having enough, when you stop operating from that wounded place of scarcity, the flow of goodness and abundance can actually reach you. It's like you've been standing outside in the cold when there's actually a warm place waiting for you, but you have to believe it exists and walk toward it. This release is essential because you can't receive the new blessings while still vibrating at the frequency of lack. The Wheel of Fortune is your fourth card, and this is where things get really exciting. This card is all about cycles, timing, and the natural rhythm of the universe. What I'm seeing here is that you're at a turning point, Taurus. The wheel is always moving, always spinning, and right now it's spinning in your favor, but you have to work with it instead of against it. The message I'm getting is that when you release your resistance to change, when you stop trying to keep everything exactly as it is, the wheel can actually carry you upward. There's this beautiful synchronicity happening around you, these cosmic gears clicking into place, and the universe is orchestrating things behind the scenes that you can't even see yet. But here's the thing. The Wheel of Fortune requires you to trust divine timing. You can't force it to spin faster or slower. When you let go and allow the natural cycles to unfold, you align yourself with universal flow, and that's when goodness pours in. I'm feeling that there's been this period where things felt stuck or stagnant, but that's actually just been the wheel gathering momentum. Now it's ready to turn, and the turn is in your favor, but only if you release your grip and ride with it instead of fighting it. The Hermit appeared as your fifth card, and this is really beautiful because it's talking about inner wisdom and the importance of going within. The Hermit isn't about loneliness. It's about this sacred solitude where you connect with your deepest truth. What I'm picking up is that part of your release process involves pulling back from external noise and really listening to your inner voice. The universe is suggesting that when you release the need for constant external validation or input, when you trust your own inner light to guide you, clarity emerges naturally. The hermit carries a lantern, which represents inner wisdom, and that light is already inside you, Taurus. You don't need to search for it externally. The goodness that flows in when you release is partly this reconnection with your own guidance system. I'm sensing that you might have been looking outside yourself for answers, asking everyone else what you should do, but the hermit is saying, come back home to yourself. In that quiet space, in that stillness, you'll find exactly what you need to know. And when you honor that inner knowing and release the doubt about your own wisdom, everything starts to align in the most beautiful way. Queen of Wands just came through as your 6th card, and the energy completely shifted when this card appeared. This is such powerful, confident, magnetic energy. The Queen of Wands is someone who knows her worth, who radiates warmth and creativity, and who attracts opportunities effortlessly. What I'm seeing here is that when you release self-doubt and release playing small, this queen energy activates within you. You have this natural charisma and creative power, Taurus, but maybe you've been dimming it or second-guessing yourself. The Queen of Wands is showing me that goodness flows in when you step into your confidence and own your gifts. This isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about this quiet certainty in who you are and what you offer. I'm getting that there's something you're passionate about, something that lights you up, and when you release the fear of being seen or judged, when you let yourself shine authentically, the universe responds by sending opportunities and connections your way. The Queen of Wands is magnetic because she's unapologetically herself, and that's the invitation here. Release the masks, release the need to shrink, and watch how goodness rushes in to meet your authentic self. 2 of Swords is your 7th card, and this one is really significant. The 2 of Swords traditionally shows someone blindfolded, holding 2 swords crossed in front of their heart. It's about being at a crossroads, feeling stuck between 2 choices, or being in avoidance. What's coming through clearly is that you've been in some kind of mental stalemate, Taurus. Maybe you've been avoiding a decision or refusing to see a truth that's right in front of you. The message here is that when you release the blindfold, when you release the protection mechanism that keeps you from seeing clearly, goodness can flow in. Sometimes we think not deciding is a decision, or we convince ourselves that staying neutral keeps us safe. But the 2 of Swords is showing that this middle position is actually blocking your flow. The universe is encouraging you to take the blindfold off, look at the situation honestly, and make a choice from a place of clarity. When you release the fear of choosing wrong, when you trust yourself enough to see the truth and act on it, the energy that's been stuck begins to move. And with movement comes flow, and with flow comes all the goodness that's been waiting for you. 5 of Swords showed up as your 8th card, and this one is about conflict and the need to release old battles. The 5 of Swords can indicate feeling defeated or being involved in conflicts where nobody really wins. What I'm seeing in your reading is that you've been carrying some kind of struggle, maybe with yourself or with others, and it's been draining your energy. The universe is showing you this card because it's time to lay down the swords, Taurus. It's time to release the need to be right, to win arguments, to prove yourself, or to keep fighting battles that don't serve your highest good. Sometimes we get so invested in conflict that we forget we have the power to just walk away. When you release the ego's need to engage in every battle, when you choose peace over being right, you create this incredible opening for goodness to enter. I'm getting that there might be a situation where you've been in this back and forth dynamic, this mental or emotional struggle, and the message is clear. Let it go. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to know what deserves your energy and what doesn't. When you release these draining conflicts, you'll feel the immediate shift as better energy rushes in to fill that space. 6 of Swords appeared as your 9th card, and I love this because it's literally about transition and moving toward calmer waters. The 6 of Swords shows a boat carrying people away from rough waters toward smoother shores. This is such a hopeful card in your reading because it's confirming that you are moving forward, Taurus. When you release whatever has been keeping you in turbulent emotional waters, whether that's worry, past hurts, or mental loops, you allow yourself to be carried toward peace. What I'm picking up is that the universe is actively supporting this transition. You don't have to fight your way to the other side, you just have to get in the boat and allow yourself to be moved. The 6 of Swords is about trusting the journey and knowing that calmer times are ahead. When you release resistance to leaving the familiar behind, even if the familiar has been uncomfortable, Goodness flows in through new experiences, new peace, and new perspectives. I'm sensing that you might be afraid to leave something behind because at least you know what it is. But this card is promising you that what's ahead is genuinely better. Trust the transition, release the need to stay in what's known but painful, and let yourself move toward healing. The 10th and final card is Ace of Swords, and this is such a powerful way to complete your reading. The Ace of Swords is about breakthrough, truth, mental clarity, and new beginnings in the realm of thought and communication. After everything we've looked at, this card is showing me the outcome when you do the work of releasing. When you let go of all those old patterns, fears, conflicts, and limiting beliefs, this pure, clear, powerful energy of truth rushes in. The Ace of Swords cuts through confusion and illusion. It brings crystal clear understanding and the ability to see situations exactly as they are. What I'm feeling is that all this release you're being guided toward leads to this moment of absolute clarity where everything suddenly makes sense. The fog lifts, the confusion dissolves, and you see your path forward with perfect vision. This is the goodness flowing in, Taurus. New ideas, clear communication, mental breakthroughs, the ability to articulate your truth, and the power to make decisions from a place of absolute clarity. The ace is always a gift from the universe, and this particular ace is telling you that your mind is about to become your greatest asset. When you release what's been clouding it, when you create space through letting go, this powerful clarity emerges and changes everything. So looking at this entire reading, Taurus, what I'm really seeing is this beautiful journey of release leading to renewal. The universe is showing you that you've been holding on to so much, whether it's old thought patterns, fears, conflicts, or ways of being that have outlived their purpose. And all of that holding on has been blocking the natural flow of goodness that wants to reach you. Every single card is pointing to the same essential truth when you open your hands and release what no longer serves you. When you trust the process and let go of control, when you stop fighting and start flowing, that's when miracles happen. That's when clarity arrives. When opportunities show up, when peace settles in, and when your authentic power emerges. The journey starts with that Page of Swords energy of curiosity and willingness to see things differently. Then the Fool invites you to trust and step into the unknown. The Five of Pentacles shows you what needs releasing, those old scarcity wounds and fears. The Wheel of Fortune reminds you that divine timing is working in your favor. The Hermit calls you inward to find your own truth. The Queen of Wands shows you the magnetic, confident energy that emerges when you stop playing small. The Two of Swords asks you to remove the blindfold and see clearly. The Five of Swords encourages you to lay down unnecessary battles. The Six of Swords promises smoother waters ahead as you transition. And finally, the Ace of Swords delivers the gift of clarity, truth, and mental breakthrough. This is your moment, Taurus. The universe is literally showing you that everything you've been wanting, that peace, that clarity, that sense of flow and ease, it's all available to you right now. But it requires your participation. It requires you to consciously choose to release what's been weighing you down. And I know that might feel scary because at least the familiar is known, even if it's uncomfortable. But I promise you, what's waiting on the other side of release is so much better than what you're holding on to. I'm really feeling this energy of support around you. The universe isn't asking you to do this alone or to figure it all out by yourself. There's this divine support system, whether you call it Source, the universe, your higher self, or your guides, that's ready to catch you when you let go. You're not falling, you're flying. You're not losing, you're gaining. You're not being reckless, you're being brave. So if you're feeling called to start this process of release, begin with something small. Maybe it's releasing one limiting thought that plays on repeat in your mind. Maybe it's letting go of the need to control one specific outcome. Maybe it's choosing peace over being right in just one situation. Start where you are, with what you can do, and watch what happens. Because I'm telling you, once you feel that first rush of goodness flowing in, once you experience how much lighter and clearer you feel, you're going to want to release more. The cards are so clear about this, Taurus. Your breakthrough is tied to your ability to let go. Your next level of peace, success, love, abundance, whatever it is you're seeking, it's right there waiting for you. And the only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is what you're still holding on to. The universe has such beautiful things planned for you, and it's time to make space to receive them. Trust this message. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. And most importantly, trust that when you release, goodness absolutely will flow in. That's not just a nice idea, it's a universal law. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you create space by letting go, that space gets filled with something better. Always. I hope this reading resonated with you and gave you some clarity about your path forward. The energy around you right now is really supportive of transformation and new beginnings, so lean into that. You've got this.